CR 6411, State of Texas versus Brian Edward Boatwright. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Daniel Escobar for the state of Texas.
Defense?
The attorney of record is Joanne de Hoyos, Joseph Stateson covering, and Mr. Boatwright. Would you give this judge permission for you to do the plea in place of Mr. Hoyos?
Yes.
All right. And are you Brian Edward Boatwright?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. If at any time I'm speaking too low or you don't understand, just let us know. Counsel, have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Boatwright, I'm going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Boatwright, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
I believe so.
Right. Did you understand you're charged with the offense of theft under $2,500 in hands? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. After reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. All right. Can we proceed with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. State, what's his criminal history other than the theft cases?
So, Judge, there is one history I can let you look at the NCIC if you want.
Any objection?
No objection.
All right. Anything else from the state other than that? All right. Defense?
Your Honor, my client had accepted previously this same case. I went to state jail facility for 6 months, negotiating with the state. We got agreement to ask you to do a cap of 12, where you would decide 6 months to 12 months.
Mhm.
He knows that he had a 1244A in the past.
Yeah.
He's done 6 months. He's homeless. He phrases it as chronic homeless. He has no family here. He was staying at Haven for Hope before this happened. He got hungry. He had an altercation, not an incident where he left Haven for Hope. He didn't want to cause a scene. He didn't want to retaliate back. He left, didn't have money, got a hot dog at Walmart. And he was asking for 10 months and we're asking something lower than 12.
All right. So why does he keep, I mean, I understand, I read the report and I understand it's you're stealing food. All right. And I'm sympathetic and empathetic to the fact that you're homeless and you're hungry. But I know in San Antonio, there are places where the food is free. It may not be what you want, but it's free. So I don't understand. And I looked at your criminal history. So your criminal history is extensive. And so why should I give him less than the year? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I would, there was an incident at Haven for Hope shortly before this happened. He didn't want to pick up a new offense. I understand it's under $20 theft, but he didn't want to get into a fight. He pulled off, he walked away. There could have been a scene at Haven for Hope. He relies on Haven for Hope to stay there, but he would tell you that he did take the hot dog.
I had something.
Sure. You want to raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
To be for an honest answer.
No. What's your name?
Brian Edward Boatwright.
All right. So Mr. Boatwright, what did you wish to say?
I was just going to say that once I'm not in that shelter area, I have problems downtown. The people, the homeless society down there is a little different than it is outside of the downtown area. But I start drinking alcohol, and then the alcohol influences my thinking, and I end up doing what I did. I don't know if I can feel it worse or better, but that's basically what happens. And then I end up doing things like that, and it's either, and I try not to do that. I end up flying a sign because you have to stay at Haven long enough for DPS to give me my ID back. It's not the $20 from a state ID card. I lost my wallet a few years ago. I struggle with this, And I haven't been able to do any, even day labor work through temp services because with a Haven ID, that's not good enough to register with them.
I'm sorry, sir, I need you to speak up or speak in the
Oh, yes, ma'am. And, I don't know why I'm saying all that, but I guess I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just trying to paint a picture of the situation to, I guess, and that's, because it's not a very smart thing. And alcohol does tend to make me think I'm much smarter than I am at the moment. It makes my life seem more tolerable on the street, but it has a bad end every time. So
And do you have any family living on the planet?
I have a brother and I just don't really, we're not enemies, but I'll leave him alone because his wife's not comfortable around me. He's got a second wife and I just kind of avoid him. I see him once in a while. And he had tried to help get it set up before for me to live at the Salvation Army on Nolan Street where I used to stay. With just my Haven ID at first, living upstairs where you pay by the month. And then I could get all my ID back and get my Social Security retirement started, which wouldn't be a lot, but it would cover living there. And I like that Salvation Army.
And what was your prior occupation or what did you do?
Well, I've done a lot of labor work, but I used to work with petroleum attorneys and petroleum landman and did title work for oil companies. And that was the main thing that I did, and my brother does. He's in a more professional bracket. I was never very stable with anything I did in life, and I've had these recurring issues with alcohol for years.
So how are you planning on handling your alcohol issues? Because otherwise, look, whether I give you 12 months or 10 months, at some point in time, you're going to be out of custody.
Right. Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to be back out in the free world.
I know.
So what are your plans?
I always have these plans, but it's not that I don't have plans, but I end up
No follow through?
become a chronic failure. And I think it's somewhere along the line, I might have given up more than I thought I did. And
How old are you?
68. And
All
I
right.
thought when I went back to Haven for Hope, I was determined that I was going to stay no matter what. And there's a lot of angry people there. And I'm not a person who likes confrontation.
Are you originally from San Antonio?
No, ma'am, I'm from Midland, Odessa.
All right. So are you planning on going back to Midland or no?
What I really thought about doing was when the state jail term is up, they will give you a bus ticket anywhere within the state. I thought about going to El Paso and going over to making my way over to Tucson because I like Arizona.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, they give you a bus ticket to anywhere, but if you're getting a bus ticket and you're going somewhere and there's no plan in place.
Well, they have a very good place. I've never been to it, but it's a shelter system like Haven for Hope in a sense. And I would hope it might not have been as crowded as here. Just going somewhere different doesn't solve my problems, but it might be good. I don't know. When they have a place called Primavera Center, which is well known like Haven for Hope, we're having a complete.
There was a comedian and I think he's since passed, but the first time I heard him and my mom heard him, we thought he was hilarious because he was pretty deadpan. And he told this joke, and his joke was, no matter where you go, there you are. So it's wherever you go, your problems that you had before are still going to be there. You can't outrun problems.
Right.
All right. Any questions?
No, you're not.
All right, Mr. Boatwright, I'm going to sentence you to 10 months in the state jail facility. I'll give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration NIMAG number 723-414, and as previously stated, the court is finding you guilty. I can ask that you be placed in the therapeutic community while you're there. It doesn't increase your time. Your time is 10 months. Whether you're in therapeutic community or not, it's still going to be 10 months, but perhaps they can help you with your alcohol issues. Would you like me to recommend that?
Yes, Your Honor. That's fine. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
I believe I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question of what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You're in your 60s.
Yeah.
You and I both, we are in the twilight of our lives. And as my mom says, Father Time is not great to anyone. So you're going to have to start following through on whatever your plans are, because otherwise you may end up finding yourself in prison. Your counsel will tell you at a certain point in time with state jail felonies, they are enhanceable. And your minimum may end up being, well, your maximum may end up being 20 years.
Yes.
And I don't think you want to go to prison for stealing $19 worth of food for 20 years. I once had a client, and it's a matter of public record, so I can say it, who was on parole. And he was on parole for stealing what goes on the water hose, the little, I forget what you call it, but it's the little thing that connects it to the faucet. And that is 50 cents. And do you know what? He was on parole for life for 50 cents. So don't be that person. If you have a drug or alcohol problem, guess what? You can go to an NA meeting anywhere in the Texas, anywhere in the United States. And I guarantee you, when you get out, if you step foot in the free world and you find an AA meeting or an NA meeting, there are people probably in that group who can probably tell you, oh, I used to be where you were. This is the shelter I went to, or I used to be where you were. Here's where you can get some free food. Because otherwise, you're going to find yourself living at somebody's institution. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Boatwright.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Judge.
Calling 2021 CR 0765W, State of Texas versus Kathleen Segovia. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Bob Hicks, representing Kathleen Segovia, Your Honor.
And are you Miss Segovia?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I see that a hearing was held by Judge Harl on August 29th. And defense, it's the court's understanding that you're asking for a oral motion for a new trial. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor, there was an error made.
All right. Defense, do you have any objection to the oral motion for new trial?
No, Your Honor, but to be, just let me make sure I have the cause numbers right, because she pled on two MTRs and one of them is okay. We don't want to change one of them.
All right.
But on the other one, so I just want to make sure I have the right cause numbers. On the
0765W is correct.
0765W is the possession 1 to 4. Is that right?
No.
Oh.
That's this.
This is the fraudulent use of or possessing of identifying information.
Yes, Judge.
All right. Any objections to the motion for new trial?
No, Judge.
All right. Then the oral motion for new trial will be granted. Ms. Segovia, I'm going to show you what's entitled motion to revoke community supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Kathleen Michelle Segovia who was placed on community supervision in 2021 CR 0765W for the offense of fraudulent use or possession of identifying information less than 5 items on January 29, 2021 for a term of 5 years? Is that you?
Yes.
All right, state.
Violated condition number 17 on or about the 19th day of July 2022 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Kathleen Michelle Segovia, did then and there fail to register for or attend a theft program 2 with the approved agency in violation of condition number 17.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
True.
State.
Your Honor, we waive the other violations alleged in the motion.
Any objections to the waivers?
Certainly not, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Segovia, did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition 17, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 1 year in the state jail facility and up to $1,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition 17?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 17 true. Is there an agreement?
There is, Your Honor, we're asking that you both the defendant and sentence her to 180 days state jail. I believe the defense would like to be heard on the time credit, Judge.
Okay. And defense, is that the agreement?
Yes, it is, Your Honor. And as of this morning, according to the clerk, she has 173 days credit.
All right. And probation, what is your recommendation?
Your Honor, the recommendation from probation and revocation at this time.
All right. Ms. Segovia, are you asking the court to follow this agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand if you could state your name for the record.
Kathleen Michelle Segovia.
All right. So, Ms. Segovia, they've agreed to 180 days for you. And I want you to know that with 180 days in the state jail facility, even though you have 173 days or whatever your counsel is saying, you still may be transferred to the state jail facility. Do you understand? And I have no control over whether they transfer you at the state jail facility or whether they have you stay at the Bexar County Jail, but usually you get transferred and you will be released from there. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So knowing that, do you still wish the court to go along with this agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
And if the court goes along with this agreement and you ultimately will serve your sentence, what's going to be different?
My son.
All right. What arrangements have you made to do better and for me or some other judge not to see you before them anymore?
Well, first of all, I've found my domestic violence relationship is out. My domestic violence relationship is non void anymore. My other half has passed away, which kept me from a lot of things, from bruising and stuff. But I've got, enrollment in school for business management. It's pending once I come out. I was supposed to enroll, but ended up with the MTR. And just staying out of trouble, and that I'm too old for this.
All right. And does anyone know about the restitution? Because I have here, there was restitution of $57 and $350. $57 was to BCSO and the $350 was to Frost Bank. Has any of that been paid?
Your Honor, no funds were sent for restitution.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else?
No, but in answer to your question about what's going to keep her out away from you, she does have 3 years to do in the Texas Department of Corrections, which is
All right. And what cause number is that?
it is 2020 CR 2613.
All right.
We'd appreciate it if you'd lend the sentences to the department.
Thank you. All right. The court will grant the motion. Sentence you to 1 year. I'm sorry, 180 days. In the state jail facility. Give you credit for any time served. This is to run concurrent with 2020 CR 2613. There's to be restitution of $57 to BCSO and $350 to Frost Bank. And there's to be no contact with Jason Haas, HAASE. Is there anything else from either side with regards to sentencing?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. My understanding from both parties is that you are also going to TDC. I don't know your entire criminal history, but I do know if you're going to TDC, what that means is if you come back on another case, depending on what you may be charged with, that means that you would potentially be a repeater. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And with repeaters, what that means is whatever felony you pick up, whatever that range of punishment is, possibly with the exception of a state jail felony, it bumps it up 1 degree. So If you were charged with a third-degree felony, the range of punishment is 2 to 10 years. But if you're charged as a repeater, that means that it's going to be 2 to 20. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Do better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.